What's up, brother? Today I want to talk about perhaps the most buffed champ in all of League of Legends, and to do that I need to first talk about the popular opinion that life is easier for attractive people. A big portion of the population would say this is the case and make arguments like, if you look like this, then you work 60 hours a week in an accounting department looking at Excel spreadsheets, and in return you can afford to live in a place that looks like this, whereas if you look like this you can take 3 pics of your ass a month and live here, while also being a protected class from getting flamed. For those of you who don't mew, you can't even get away with looking at a chick without it being cancelable, but if you look like this, domestic violence is apparently fair game. In game, of course, but of all the arguments that people make for pretty privilege, I think the strongest is looks. This blonde bimbo that a group of riders must parasocially jerk their wieners off to at night gets more love than any champ in the galaxy of Runeterra. She's gotten so buffed she's practically ready to step on the Mr. Olympia stage, as it's like every other week some balanced team dev looks at her splash art and goes, "Hey yo, this cutie deserves a little love." If I said this,
I don't have dark secrets. I have bright ones.
You already know I'd have 6 middle school white chicks in my comments canceling me for racism, but you know what she gets? Another suite of buffs despite already being more busted than her own bra. So today we're going to help some basement dwelling uggles make the pretty privilege argument by showing just how badly / she needs these buffs in a few pre-patch games. Okay, so to start I went Miss Sparkle Tits in the support role, and seeing as Marksman our comedy club one-liner material in the current season, the enemy opted into playing Mushu the glitter-puking Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade float, and when we celebrated our birthdays before them I made my wish to commit dragon genocide for first blood, and it came true with ease. Then the astral asshole is getting all greedy up against my statue, so I take a detour back to lane so that I can play a quick game of surprise you a dead bitch with him and kill him off without even needing to pop the second light cherry I threw at him. Anyways, the pattern continues of them being pushed up more than a TikToker's tits every time we leave lane, but we hire a clown to come down hoping it'll make the fact that they never have color on their screens a bit more fun. But after I nab the first kill, my Shaco informs me that he's not happy about the support getting the kill. But here's the thing about me. I don't care about meta, I don't care about roles. I picked this baton twirling pretty privileged princess to prove a goddamn point, and the only thing that I do care about is people using their pings to flame me when I help them, so my only response is to tell them to take off the clown makeup, quite literally in some cases, and fucking do it again. And so yeah, sure, Shaco is gonna throw his little temper tantrum. Maybe a few people in the comments will be butthurt too, saying stuff like, well Rav, the support really shouldn't take kills because she can't carry the game. And to that I just want to ask if you think that ping spamming jester can tie up a dragon and politely disinvite him from lane within 5 seconds of him teleporting in. No, because he'll be too busy getting butthurt about something else, and also I doubt anyone at Riot is jerking off to his character's splash art. Anyways, I get some alone time with the Samsung Galaxy Tadpool, where I opt into missing all my abilities on purpose, obviously so that I can bait him into thinking he should fight me, failing to remember that ADCs typically return back to the bot lane at this point in the game, so I bitch bind him and we give him a cucking, but my recording unfortunately cuts out right before I clutch this double on the Master Yi. My accountant told me I have to at least pretend to be a support sometimes for tax purposes, so I'm out here expensing little shrub cameras and shit when Papua New Guinea, capital of Fucksville, interrupts me. This leaves just the crusty cat turd alone and looking to get harassed under a tower, and despite being outnumbered and underfed, every player in this game is conditioned when they see an ADC to immediately think they can just one-tap a hoe, and I mean they ain't wrong to think that way, but it sometimes causes embarrassing things like this to occur. I decide to take my borderline racist voice lines up to the mid lane because one of my favorite pastimes is watching windshitters get gangbanged like they are making content for their OF. Sorry for cussing, Twisty Twix, not trying to get in the middle of a fight you've already lost with your father. I'm just over here trying to kill enemies without this clown pinging me afterwards, and as long as he gets the credit he is happy. Hey guys, did you hear the one where Rav killed an ADC with an ult that he missed? It was almost as funny as the one where Kaisa thought she could play a marksman and actually have fun in League of Legends. Kidding, as the chief fun officer on the Rift, my job is to appropriately mistime my dragon steals so that she can indeed have one memorable moment as a marksman. Their malfight is trying to destroy my tax credits, so I channel my inner American and choose to respond with violence, but only through auto attacks so that pinging Patty over here doesn't get pissy with me again. That said, I do get to have some one-on-one quality time with the inbred wind twin, to which I tie him up, shine some light in his eyes, and then wait for the dubstep storm surge proc. Every time I refill my cameras and deploy one so that it can be a write-off, there's some IRS agent dressed like a feeding Aurelian Sol trying to take it down only to keep getting caught in the act and slapped like a bitch. We are stomping, but the one guy saying no on the FF votes from their team is definitely their top laner, and from personal experience I know the quickest way to turn that mental fortitude into a raging toddler is to play a quick round of surprise our entire fucking team is here. We then head back to mid, and I think the fact that this Yone escaped a 3-man gank that I was a part of is definitely clear evidence that Lux is in need of these upcoming buffs. Like in a situation like that, it really does become apparent when a champ is just too weak to have any impact in a game, so I agree she needs more buffs. And so yeah, that warrants a quorum of quitters on the other team saying things like bot abyss, and while support Lux is a tad stupid already, the buffs are apparently targeted to make her more viable as a mid laner, so let's go there to see how much it's needed in that department. This one I'm against Short King Dumbledore, who I know has a kink for being tied up and then trapping blondes in his little cuck pen, so I know just how to knock him dead right off the bat. But it turns out my team isn't going to be an all-star supporting cast in this episode, as we have a Yone and all the things that come with it, plus there's my jungler picking fights without neither a real weapon nor a real functioning brain. But the class ball sack at Hogwarts is still trying to farm when he's been poked more than bursted balloon, so I flash him not in the way that Perv would have liked and then earn the buffs I'm about to get. The strategy boils down to chucking E-bombs at him every single time they are up, and as long as I hit them 20% of the time he will eventually be low enough and just begging me to auto-attack him to death, which is also getting buffed by the way. I then decide to head top because the best way to combat windshitter syndrome is through preventative measures early, and if Shaco is watching, you don't see me pinging him for getting this kill. The teeny weeny wizard is now clinging to his statue's ass hoping to beat me at my own game, but I decide to not let his tower tap my pretty privilege ass until Weaponless Willy comes in to do my work for me. But I ask him to go check on Yone, which is when he called me and said syndrome symptoms are starting to show and even he can't stop them, and I need to do something quick or things will start to snowball, so I do an emergency LASIK operation work from home to delay the decay. My bright little circle jerkers are now doing almost a third of this mushroom tip's health, and when he whiffs his Epstein crate I know there's a window for me to go in and underestimate my damage because I need buffs before still killing him and prepping for some heart rate racing gankage. That said, you can only fight windshitter syndrome for so long before it starts to materialize into untreatable issues, so all I can do is clean up what I can and then sit in a bush like a peeping Tom just waiting for Hagrid's left ballsack to get chunked before realizing I fucked up. Luckily Yone syndrome is contagious and that's not something you want to steal from the man. I read an article that very frequent doses of light therapy can delay the progression of windshitter syndrome, so I am practically making visits every minute up here to administer them, and it does seem to be helping the cause. That said, it does cause me to be late for a lot of family gatherings, which does suck, but hey, did you hear the latest buff to Lux is that anytime you use your ult, even if it's just absolutely nowhere near anyone, you will always kill at least one enemy. Hey guys, this is Freak, welcome to the champion spotlight for Smolder. She's an ADC. Windshitter syndrome is now spreading to the mid lane, which can be scary because my mist laser didn't kill anyone that time and all I have left is a 600 damage E to try and save him. And so yeah, I think based off of the very clear evidence everyone can agree that Lux is in desperate need for another set of buffs both in the mid lane and in the support role, so I for one can't wait and will be even more eager to hear about the next round she's planned to get. Subscribe brother. Rav out.